Hey, what's up? Dawnna St. Louis here. And I'm a little tardy this morning because quite honestly, Facebook was messing around. It would not let me go online for some reason. I have no idea why, but I prevailed. I fixed it. I fought against the Facebook gods and won. Today we're going to talk a little bit about your perfect profit zone. So before we get into that, let me go ahead and say some shout outs. What's up, Mr. Jackson? I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. How are you doing? I'm glad to see you on. And everyone else who's joining, welcome. All right. So first, let me catch up with a couple of things really quick. So a lot of people that I know that are speakers, that are wannabe speakers, that like to speak or just like to hang out with speakers, a lot of those people went to the NSA conference and they hung out and then they got all these notes and all these great ideas, right? And then they came home and they did nothing. Literally, they looked at their notes and they did not implement. And this is so common, right? It happens all the time. You spend all this money, you spend the flight, the hotel, the ticket to get in over, by the time you're done, you spend probably around $4,000. But how are you going to get that ROI? And I'm all about the 10x ROI. So how are you going to make that 40 grand back, right? That you just invested in your business. We're going to talk a little bit about what I do when I get home because you're going to actually see it in action. So when I went to the NSA conference, I go there with a very specific modus operandi. I'm usually looking for something. I'm figuring out what people are doing, but specifically, I'm talking to my target market and understanding what their real challenges are. So one of the challenges that I hear a lot from people that are speaking is that they say this one word, and this one word, if you are saying this in your business, in your speaking business or in your entrepreneurial business, if you're saying this one word in your business, then there is something that is a little bit off that needs to be tweaked. And this word is frustrated. Frustrated. I'm frustrated that I'm not getting paid. I'm frustrated that my audience doesn't seem to get it. I hear people say I'm frustrated that, I'm hustling. I'm making all the phone calls. I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not getting any response, right? So they're not getting the return on work. There's just a whole lot of things that people are doing and they're not getting that return back. When you use the word frustrated, when you're talking about your business, then you are working outside of your zone of genius. So I will use myself as an example. The area that I get the most frustrated in is marketing. The reason I get the most frustrated in marketing is because marketing is not my zone of genius. So what do? I don't play around with marketing. What I do is I go elsewhere and I find someone who is a genius in that area and I make sure that they do the marketing for me, right? Because that's not in my zone of genius. So you might be saying, but Dawnna, excuse me, I'm a speaker. Hello, I am a genius. Yes, you could be a genius, but here's the thing. And I'm going to use my boy, John Perigine, because John is he's absolutely brilliant. And he has given me permission to use this story. He has actually recorded this story. I have a video of it. He said I could put it online. So I'm not doing anything that would make John 100% uncomfortable at all. But when I first met John several years ago, John was, let's say this, I guess it was like 4 or 5 years ago. John was doing okay, but he wasn't doing great. And in fact, he wasn't doing so great that, hey, John, I'm telling your story about the pickle barrel. Things weren't so great that their plumbing didn't work in the house, and quite honestly, he couldn't afford to fix the plumbing. And so, yes, the pickle barrel. Wait, you said I could tell it. Now, if I can't tell it, you need to chime in and say, don't tell the story, but I got a video where he told me I could say it. Anyway, John and his family used to have to use a pickle barrel outside. Jesus is not the answer. Well, Jesus is the answer, but not the answer. Anyway, John had to use a pickle barrel. They didn't outside because they weren't making, he wasn't making enough money. But here's the crazy thing. John had worked for the Wall Street Journal, New York Times. He followed around that presidential hopeful that was Mr. America every year, John, what's his name? John Kerry? John. Yes, there's a video. John something. I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, and then his wife had breast cancer and he had a baby out of wedlock and blah, 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 and all this stuff. So John had actually written articles in major publications about this guy. So he couldn't be more of a genius. He was working within his zone of genius. John Edwards, that's his name, John Edwards. So he was working within his zone of genius as this expert who was writing for these major publications. However, when it came down to the other 11 parts of his business, he was struggling and he wasn't making any money. He wasn't making enough money, not enough to support 2 small children. But here's the cool thing. John recognized that I was working in my zone of genius and we started working together. And now John has a 3-story house with a vineyard in the backyard that overlooks the Mississippi. So you do need to work in your zone of genius, but then you need to get beyond that. So he was frustrated because he's like, Dawnna, I know how to write. I'm an amazing writer. However, I'm not making money because his zone of genius was not in the business building part. That's where my zone of genius exists, right? And so you have to understand that. My zone of genius actually is, I am the Harriet Tubman of corporate colonization. I give people financial freedom from corporate colonization. That's what I do. So let me go on. So John recognized that his zone of genius was in writing, but it was not in business building. And so you have to recognize where your zone of genius exists and where it does not exist. Once he got a blueprint and he was able to, we worked together to fill in that blueprint, John consistently now, he just sent me a thing the other day and was like, yeah, I just closed this deal for $29,000. Like, that's just how he rolls now. Whereas $29,000 would have been his salary for the year, he now says $29,000 is a deal, right? I'm frozen. I can't fix frozen. Am I still frozen? I hope I'm not frozen. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Let me know if I'm still frozen. I'm going to keep going. All right, Beth says I'm good. John, that's your crap. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so that's kind of how it works when you recognize your zone of genius. But now let's talk about your perfect profit zone, because that is different. There are 3 parts to your perfect profit zone. One is your zone of genius, right? We just talked about that one. The second one is your ideal client. And the third piece, by the way, is where you make money. Now, listen, I'm going to help you with this. If you go all the way to the top, you're going to see a link at the top of this live stream. It's in the title. And there is a link there. I'm going to tell you right now, this is actually kind of like a hidden link because it hasn't gone through Q&A yet. But if you go to biz-on-fire.com/profit zone, which is right there at the top, if you go there right now, you're going to see, not even halfway down the page, where I talk about the zone of genius. So just click on that right now if you have a chance, and you're going to see where I'm talking about this zone of genius. And then you're going to also see your perfect profit zone. So your perfect profit zone happens when 3 things happen. Number 1, you have stepped into your zone of genius. You're like, boom, I know my passion, I know my expertise, I know all the things that absolutely work. You are so clear. Beth, why did you spit out your coffee? Can someone type it in the feed? Okay, wait, I can type it. I can type it if you guys bear with me. How about that? HTTP. Wait, it should be in the thing up there. I will type it because I'm amazing, and if you guys just bear with me because I am on an iPhone, and of course I have on no glasses. On-fire. So this isn't even live yet, quite honestly. I'm telling you guys right now. So if you see a spell check thing on there, spelling error, don't be calling me like, Dawnna can't spell. Just hit me up and let me know because it hasn't gone through QA yet. and it's supposed to drop today after QA. I think I put that right. Okay. I think I put it right. biz-on-fire.com/profit zone. Okay. So when you hit your profit zone, you will have, number one, found your zone of genius, right? And your zone of genius is when your passion, your talents, your thought leadership, your experience all mix to give you your true area of expertise. Most people do not know their true area of expertise. Most people are just using experience, right? They're not passionate about it. They're like, people are hiring a lot about sales, so I should talk on sales. That does not mean that is your zone of genius. That is not where your true expertise lies. That is what you're doing to get $1. It's completely different, which means you're going to be working the rest of your life, unlike me, who I don't work anymore. So that's number one. Here's number two. Once you have your zone of genius, the next thing you have is your perfect client. This is your ideal client. This is not just the person who will pay you. This is the person that you want to work for, that you want to work with. Because let me tell you, there is a whole lot of people. Thank you, Elizabeth. There is a whole lot of people that, I am not kidding you, they have hit me up. They're like, I want to work with you. And I'm like, nope, can't do it. See, when you have your ideal client, you can actually pick them and they pick you. It works together. There is just this synthesis that happens between you. You guys go from being, like John, you go from being clients to colleagues, right? You're looking for that long-term relationship. Anyone that I work with is literally someone that I'm looking for at a long-term relationship with, right? I want to see them considerably successful forever. I have a very long-term relationship with my boy, Jeff Ram. I just told you guys he was going to kill it on the NSA stage, and he went up there, and for 5 days, people did not stop talking about him because he was just that amazing. Well, Jeff and I worked together years ago, and there is no one happier than I to see him standing on that stage. I mean, like, I turn into such a baby when my clients do well. Like, I literally cry. Okay, so here's the third part of your zone of genius. Your zone of genius is your irresistible offer. It is what people want. They know that they can get it from you. They love you. They're like, yes, that is what I want. I know you have the answer. I know you can get it. It is one of the reasons why my phone literally rings more often than I'm making outside calls, because I have let people know I'm working within my zone of genius. I love clients who are that are actionable, that move forward, that want in 5 years or 4 years or 3 years for us to sit around and laugh about the pickle barrel, right? Like, we can sit around and go, dude, you used to be in a pickle barrel and now you have a vineyard overlooking the Mississippi. What the hell? Like, we can laugh about those things now, right? Because I'm looking for clients that want to become colleagues. It is not fun to race my yacht by myself. I need colleagues who have yachts also, and so why not build them? And then, of course, the last thing is the irresistible offer. What is it that your clients want, and how can you give it to them? So this takes me back to the beginning. Remember, at the very, very, very beginning, I said we all went to the NSA conference. We all came up with all these great things that we want to do. And then you go home and you have all these papers and business cards, and you have all these notes and all these actions that you're going to take. And then a week has gone by and you're like, shit, I ain't doing that. Like, you just, $4,000 is out the door. So what did I do with mine? Because yes, I'm talking about eating my own dog food. So one of the things that I did was, when I went there, a lot of people said, Dawnna, I love the whole concept of your Jumpstart program, but what I would prefer is if you had it broken up into pieces where I could see you more often, I could be in the room more often, and then after I'm in the room with you, that we do some follow-up stuff, and then I'm in the room with you again, and then we do some follow-up stuff. How freaking brilliant was that? So what I did was this. I made 4 retreats. Now, I've always done retreats. They've always been highly successful, but now these are smarter retreats. So now what I do is, number one, I have a retreat that is first called your Perfect Profit Zone Retreat. Perfect Profit Zone Retreat. Now, that's the one, if you click on the link, that's the one you're going to see. Hopefully the link is working. I think it's working because I see you guys rolling stuff. So I think it's working. So that's awesome. So first thing you'll see the Perfect Profit Zone Retreat. Then after that retreat, by the way, like 2 months later, we're going to do the Sales Mastery Retreat for Entrepreneurs. It's specifically for entrepreneurs. And when I say retreat, by the way, we don't have like 800 people coming. I only allow 25. And out of that 25, only 8 to 10 can actually stay in the $1 Million Mansion. Yeah, it's like that. And then after the sales retreat, we go on to the next one, which is your goal setting and goal getting retreat. And then after your goal setting and goal getting retreat, we do a mastermind retreat to just get rid of roadblocks. And in between those retreats, you get constant assistance to make sure that your business is building. It is what came out of the NSA conference. It is what people are asking for. It is what people, I mean, literally, people bid $11,000 to be at one of my retreats. Not kidding you. And have the follow-up coaching with me. So that's what I'm doing. That's what changed. That's the big change. And so what you're going to see is if you go to that link, and again, don't hate on me if everything ain't working 100%, okay? Because it's still in testing. So you guys are seeing something that's in testing. But if you go and take a look at it, you'll see that all the content is there, everything is there. But that is what has come out of going to the NSA conference. It is changing my direction based on the information that my customers gave me. It is working within my perfect profit zone. And it's also helping people work within their perfect profit zone. Because after you work within your perfect profit zone, once you have that nailed, you really have to know how to sell once you're in there. Once you sell within your perfect profit zone, you have to make sure that you're consistently moving your ball forward. So Dawnna quote, "Stop chasing the dollar and let the dollar chase you." Oh my God, so real. And that's why you want to be in your perfect profit zone, because you want the dollar to chase you. All right, if you have any questions, now is your time to chime in and let me know. I'm going to see if I can do some magical scrolling here, even though, wait, you know what? I got glasses. Boom, I'm going to be able to see in 1 second. Okay, look how blind I am. Elizabeth, thank you so much for putting in the Zone of Genius. Perfect client and irresistible offer. Yes, that is where your perfect profit zone totally exists. You have to have that nail. Hey, Courtney, I'm good. Yes, John's perfect clients are in the wine industry and they're CEOs of mid-sized and large companies. That is a huge, huge part for him, because before his clients used to be anybody. Now his clients are very specific people, and it's a lot more lucrative. Let's see. This is the very second I realized that Dawnna is pronounced like Donna. Just a second. Really, Beth? I've known Beth now for like, what, 3-4 years? Beth, you just got that? I love you guys. You're hilarious. All right, and I sent you guys the link. You want the notes. What notes? What notes do you want, Beth? I'm going to have to find out what notes. Elizabeth hooked that up in the feed. She spit out her coffee. John, that's your crap. My new favorite hashtag. Okay, yeah, that is his crap. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got everything in there. Anyway, you guys are a riot. I love you, love you, love you. Anyway, so you're going to be my Q&A team because you're here and you got the link. So all I need you to do, because you're going to hook me up, is check out bizonfire.com, biz-on-fire.com. I am seriously going to track down the person who owns bizonfire.com, and I'm going to steal their domain. But anyway, go to biz-on-fire.com/profit zone, and then I think you have to put the closing slash. And just take a look through there. Take a read through. All the pricing and everything that you see there is right. You can't just sign up and roll in. You actually have to get on the phone with me. So if you don't like the crazy you see on the video, don't schedule the phone call, honey, because it ain't going to get no better. Anyway, and if you're interested in the profit zone, like coming to one of the retreats, let me know. They're coming up in September. So you got like 2 weeks. And yes, prices do go up. So get in sooner than later as well. We lose generally the master, the king size bedrooms and the queen size bedrooms. We lose those quickly because there's only maybe 8 or 9 of them. So just saying. Anyway, oh wow, yeah, I like that. Beth and John, you guys both do need to come to my retreat though, because it is freaking awesome. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic day. And if you have any questions at all, Now you can go on Biz on Fire. You can leave me a message. You can also leave me a message on Facebook. I always answer them. And I look forward to seeing you guys later. And hopefully I'll see you at your Perfect Profit Zone retreat. Talk to you later.